Oh, this absolutely isn't overdue. Hello everybody, welcome back to Neo Films. So I'm going to do something that I promised to do a long time ago. Number one, I'm sorry for the terrible camera quality. My HD camera seems to have died, which is awesome. But no matter, because that doesn't matter anymore. I'll tell you why later. But oh my god, there's so much to update you on. Where have I been? What has been going on? You've seen a couple of inspirational let's go get 'em moments. Here's what happened. So let's go all the way back to this moment.
Welcome aboard the world famous Universal Studio Tour. My name is Niles, spelled with a Y. Why? Because I will be your guide as we lift the veil of secrecy on some Hollywood.
Okay, so you see that happy boy right there. He's living in LA. He's living the dream. He's Universal Studios tram tour guide. Things didn't work out there. Through a series of complications, both financial and non, I had to leave LA. And then from a series of complications, both financial and non, I had to leave California. So I went from there and I hopped on the plane to Texas. And I got here and I was really down in the dumps. There was a lot I was dealing with. Obviously, there's this video, which I've talked about way too fucking much, so I'm not even going to mention it. So we'll just push that aside. You know, from there, I just kind of dedicated everything into writing and working, and then I reached burnout because I wasn't dealing with my own emotions. I wasn't dealing or processing anything. And I got into a relationship, and that didn't work out. When I did move back to Texas, though, I got to experience a small dream of mine, which I was paid to be a costumed character. Some of it was Captain Jack Sparrow, as you guys know. I love that character so much. I love playing him. And another was, you know, there's Mickey Mouse, where I had to do the voice the entire time for about 2.5 hours. It was awful. And then there's a Ninja Turtle, which had this amazing video. to come from it. So yeah, that was fun, but then eventually it came time for a change. And so I needed to pick myself up, do a new start, and then from there I flew over to Florida. Florida. Don't you love Florida? And I worked in flooring. I made stairs! Of all places, all jobs. And let me tell you, it sucks. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. It's unreliable. Paychecks don't come on time. It's hard to work, which I didn't really mind too much as long as the checks would come on time, which they didn't. So I did that, and before I went into flooring, though, I decided there's something I've always wanted to try, and that is streaming. And I did my first stream on the Tyrus and Neo Twitch with Tyrus whenever I was out there in St. Louis visiting him for the first time. We did not know you needed to click a button to save the VOD, so it went away, and it's gone forever, and that makes me sad. So the first official stream that I did on Twitch was Resident Evil 4, which I still need to finish that, but my laptop was so awful. It was so awful that I couldn't even run it. Every time, like, there was a scene where it started raining, and every time I went down an alleyway, it closed. So I streamed Undertale a lot because I could run that, and then there were so many crazy things we did. Like when I ran Sea of Thieves, my computer could just about run it. It took me about 20 minutes to load in, and I would crash often. So my buddy Deadeye would stream to my channel from his screen. He was basically my cameraman, and we did that for multiple things, including even like Roblox when we did the Halloween Horror Nights thing because my internet was so unreliable. Like I had all the worst equipment. But the flooring, what that did was it not only gave me back the confidence to know that I'm able to work and push myself and get the drive that I had back, that I acquired and lost in California. I got that back, and I had enough money to get this laptop with a shitty webcam, but the best process. Like, I could run anything on high. And I also got this beauty, which is the greatest thing I've ever bought. Ever. This is... I don't think I've ever made a purchase that is better than this virtual reality HTC Vive. I don't know if there's a better one out. I don't know if the new Oculus is better. I don't care. I love this thing. I love it. It's my life. If you don't have a life, you can have a life in here. I can hang out with I can go to the bar with friends in here, play pool, the arcades, watch movies in a movie theater. It's great. I highly recommend it if you can afford it. If you can't, I don't blame you. This thing put me into crippling debt. And I also started up a small company of sorts, which is the Generic Ferrets, which you could find a link to in the description, which is a community of content creators, streamers, and YouTubers alike, who all kind of collab together to make a lot of projects. And those are some of the best friends I've ever had. And I know it's been a while since I've talked to some of you because I've been really focusing on myself and trying to dig myself out of that hole that I put myself in. And I'm so happy that everyone's been so understanding, and I really do appreciate it. And this update is kind of a half apology, half a promise to be coming back for more things in the future. I've been silent for too long, and I just want to let you guys know what is up and what I've been through and where I'm going. Which leads me to why I'm back here. So, the first update that I showed you in the beginning of this video was in the room directly above me. I am back at my grandparents' house, directly below that room. And that is because, crippling debt. And I needed to get out of flooring because it was so unreliable, and I needed to do something that was a little bit more stable. And, you know, stability is something that you really need, especially whenever you're raising money. Because, you know, if you have to, like, splurge on, like, hotels or something like that, and you don't have enough for, like, groceries, you have to keep eating out or something like that, you know, you need to be able to save money, and you need to be able to, you know, have 2 feet on the ground before you're able to take off running. And like I said, am moving to Vegas in about 3 weeks. 3 weeks and some change, maybe less. And from there, everything's just gonna take off. But I needed to make sure that I had the right amount of money, and you know, because Florida, I was going insane. I was going how insane? That insane. I put on like an entire production of Les Mis in my closet because I was insane. And shout out to all my friends. Thank you for not calling me out on my insanity and supporting me. I showed that video to some of my friends. Like, oh, that was fantastic. Good job. You know, it's very, very. I like the costume and the lighting. It was very good. I love you guys to death, but I was fucking insane. So yeah, you know where I've been. You know where I'm going from here. And the answer in short is up. You know, this channel is going places, and while we're filming, I'm going to be posting production vlogs. And as I said in the first video, I dream of a channel where you can click. The first video is just me, like this, sitting in front of a camera, talking about a concept. And the concept is the first episode of the playlist. And at the very end is a premiere. That's what I want for this channel, you know? So that's what I'm going to give you. Hell or high water, that is what I'm going to give you, no matter how long it takes. Last update went a little something like this.
We started talking about the scripts of the new one, and he said something like, oh, if I was a screenwriter, I would write it this way. And I was like, oh, are you a writer? And he says, no, but I have this friend who's a producer who's always asking me to write some stuff. And I said, I'm a screenwriter. And he said, great, put you two in contact. And then it all took off from there.
I had so much hope back then. Yeah, so here's the changes. Simon will no longer be in the hands of a production company. That does not mean I'm not working with a producer right now. That deal switched from my original script to being hired to work on a different script. And that script has been... it's been tough. So, where that is going or how that turns out, I have yet to see. And there's not a lot I'm legally allowed to talk about. So, I am writing a script for a producer. So, let's leave it at that. But let's talk about what I'm doing and what I have control over. Simon is still being made. If you follow my Twitch channel, If you follow my Twitch channel, then you probably remember me screening or streaming the live read-through of Simon, where I got a bunch of my friends to act out the roles, and I added music and sound effects, and I think it turned out fantastic. So you can go ahead to the channel and watch that whenever you want, and finally experience the whole script. But that doesn't mean that's where it's going to end, because what I'm planning on doing is making it animated. Because I can't remember the last time I saw a good animated horror film, or any animated horror film, in a very, very, very long time. So that is what is going to happen. I have someone working on a poster right now, a very, very, very talented artist who I've seen the design of the newest poster. We went through a couple, but this one is just it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I love it. And then once it's done, it's going up on crowdfunding. And then we're going to raise the money, we're going to hire an animator, and then we're going to get it done, run the film circuit, all that stuff. But that is going to take a while. What are we doing in the meantime? Well, my entire career, everyone has always been telling me, you know, why don't you do comedy, because you always do comedy on the internet, and you make funny videos, and, you know, I was a little scared to do it, because there's one thing, there's a difference between being funny, talking with your friends, and bouncing off people and stuff like that, and then there's being funny to the point where you can create comedic situations, and I didn't have confidence that I was able to do that. And then I collaborated with two friends that you both know, and we wrote a script. And it's my first comedy script, and it's kind of like a romantic comedy, but more comedy than romantic. It deals with a lot of very real themes, and our mission statement was basically, because we're not all I mean, I like romantic comedies because I'm a sap, but they don't. And I hate the tropes of romantic comedies. Like, you know that scene in almost every romantic comedy where, like, they inevitably have a fight, and then there's 10 to 15 minutes of them just moping and being sad, and you know it's gonna... None of that. There's none of those obvious, this is where this is supposed to happen moments. We wanted to make sure that everything felt real and organic, and the ideas that these characters had were real ideas that people would have, and we wanted to make them all well-rounded, you know, adult characters, rather than just changing their agenda to fit what we want to make this joke work or something like that. And we work together beautifully, so we will be definitely making more content in the future together. In fact, I'm going to be moving to around Vegas area with one of them, where we will be collabing a lot. The other one lives quite a ways away, but we have plans on them you know, we have plans in the future of us all living closely together, so we can keep working on these projects. And within the next year, we're going to shoot that comedy script. It's a very cheap script. It's not going to take a lot of money at all, and to the point where, like, even if the crowdfunding doesn't work, we'll be able to raise it ourselves. It'll just take a long time, but not too long. You know, Simon, if we shot that live action, that would take 10 to 15 million easy, because of the creature designs and the dreamlike aspects and all of the psychological, you know, everything. It would be way too expensive. So animation is definitely the way to go with that one. But with this one, we really just need equipment and locations and actors. That's it. No effects are needed. We looked around for what is near us, and you know, we're using basically all the assets that we have, and we're not trying to be so ambitious that we're reaching further, as I've had a problem with in the past. That's what's coming, I promise. So if you want to follow along with me, click subscribe, ring that bell, because A, this video quality is going to get a whole lot better, I promise. This is awful, but I only have a limited amount of time because I work so damn much, and I'm about to do a long stream. I didn't have time to charge my camera. I should have done it last night, but I forgot. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Hit that bell so you know whenever the next videos are coming. And hop on over to the Neo Films Twitch. Give me a like, because I stream fairly often. Not as much as I used to, but hop in the chat, ask me questions. You know, I'd love to interact with you guys. You know, interacting with y'all truly is the best part of all of this. Nothing makes me happier than to know that someone is watching my stuff and either being inspired by it or even wanting to get involved. You know, never be afraid to send a message, email, comment, any of that stuff. I fully welcome it. All right. Love you guys, and I will see you all a little later. Bye-bye.